All right, The Purge, Season 2, Episode 5, House of Mirrors. This started with Esme's flashbacks, which honestly I wasn't into until the end of it. Then I started to actually enjoy it and was like, oh wow, I actually have something to say about this. But besides the ending with her dad, I didn't really care for that much, but maybe it'll play into the bigger picture. Maybe, it's established the relationship between her and this other character. So we'll see where that goes. But of the episode, it was really the low point of the episode for me, all of that stuff. But the rest of the episode I thought was great. And I was like way into some of it. So let's talk about the rest. All right. So there's 136 days left before the next purge. So we're like 2/3 of a year after the events of the first episode. So it's jumped up quite a bit. Ben sets his new buddy up for a blind date, and all this guy does is talk about the purge. He's some freaking purge bro, and he cannot talk about seemingly anything else, which Ben doesn't seem to have a problem with, and states that, and his girlfriend and his girlfriend's friend are like, yeah, your friend's creeping us out. And so when he goes to talk to him about that, he ends up divulging that he killed this farmer and thinks this guy's going to totally be on his side. But this guy is a true purge fanatic, believes wholly in the purge. That's our night to kill, and anything outside of that night is wrong and punishable, by death, and I don't agree with it. I see that as murder. Like, purge night isn't murder to them. Like, that's 12 hours for them to get out all their frustrations, all their angers, all this and that, and it's their right as citizens to be able to do that. But any other minute of any other day, they see it just as we see it right now in our country as it stands. It's a really weird. I mean, I've definitely thought about that before, but his reaction to Ben admitting that he's harmed someone or killed somebody outside of Purge night, and just how this guy's a Purge fanatic and is instantly like, bro, that's not okay. Like, what are you doing? Like, there's not like that. They completely disconnect murder from Purge night. Like, this guy legit does. Most of the characters we've seen in the Purge universe, Purgers, we only see them on Purge night, so we don't really know what they're like after. That's why I've thought that this is so interesting, so engaging, having it take place during off-Purge season, which is almost the entire year, is seeing that there are some true fanatics that really do believe in the Purge night and the Purge night alone. Like, they're not murderous assholes otherwise. They are murderous assholes because if you were to give in to this, you would be that, in my opinion. But, as I said, they buy into it wholeheartedly. And that's not something we really see much in the Purge films because we don't get to see the after events of the Purge. So I thought that was a really, really interesting way to think about it and character moment to get my mindset deeper into how people are in this universe. As I said, I know this is something that should be obvious, but as we see these characters as these vicious assholes during Purge night. That's really all we see of them before. But to see that there's a guy that legit believes the Purge is good and anything outside of the Purge boundaries is wrong is a total mindfuck. It's like, how can you kill someone that night and then think killing, 1 minute after the Purge siren goes off to end it, that's not okay. Like, I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's baffling, but it is intriguing, you know, as the human mind always seems to be. Then he stabs him and he goes missing after the fire alarm is pulled. I feel like that's very coincidental, I suppose, but whatever. So he goes off and tries to find him, and then he follows his blood trail, and boom, he's in the elevator. Elevator goes down, opens up, and everyone finds his body. Will the NFFA cover up this? I don't see how. You know, there's too many witnesses that see a bloodied man who's been stabbed to death. And I think anyone would react like that for the most part, of finding a dead body, unbeknownst to them in that moment. But I feel like it's amplified because these kids are led to believe that this shit doesn't happen anymore. Murder's just not a thing anymore since the founding fathers introduced the Purge. And, you know, studies have shown that has almost ceased to exist. So imagine finding a dead body and your reaction to it, knowing the current state of affairs, and that murder is very high. You know, not extremely, of course. We don't live in some fucking wasteland or anything, but we know it occurs in metropolitan cities and whatnot a little more than, of course, anyone would like, which is anything above 1, anything above 0, I guess I should say. But yeah, imagine a world where you were led to believe that murder doesn't happen anymore outside of these 12 hours. And then boom, you find a dead body, you know, that clearly has been murdered. Now, I don't know. I guess they could swing it that he fell on something and then he bled to death. So I suppose it could be pawned off. Now, I can only assume he's dead. If he isn't dead, we got a whole different can of worms to open there. But I think he's probably dead. And this is going to make Ben's girlfriend extremely suspicious. Like, there's no way she wouldn't instantly think it was him. The way he's been acting, him being like, I don't see the big deal of him always talking about the Purge, and just everything that's been going on. His girlfriend would have to be so stupid not to notice. So I think his girlfriend's going to get wise to this, and she is going to threaten exposure, and that might get her killed as well. We'll see. Anyway. All right, so moving on from Ben's storyline over to Ryan's storyline. Now, Ryan is going to case this joint. The guy who he hires on can't get what needs to be done, so Ryan and his team decide that they're going into the house outside of Purge night because they need to scout this location to make sure that it's the right setup. And whilst in there, the whole thing goes completely wrong, completely sideways, and man, that was some intense shit. I was so into it. As soon as they came up to that guy's car and pulled him out, and they were talking to him, and then I saw that guy looking at the painting, and I'm like, oh, his head's gonna get blown off right here. Oh shit! And when it did, and then boom, they locked the house down. They got this gun room. They've got tactical gear. They're wearing bulletproof vests. They got a whole room of freaking assault rifles. I was like, oh shit. And they're on the speaker. You know, Ryan and Ryan and his chick are freaking out. Like, what the hell are we going to do? And they don't want their faces to be seen. They're so screwed in this moment. It's like, do we have to kill these people? Like, what do you have to do? And so Ryan does his last-ditch effort here and calls the police, much to the chagrin of his partners, of course. And, of course, it's corrupt she-bitch, and she wants in on the take. So great moments there with that. And then the whole Esme storyline, I think, going back to Ryan's thing, I think there's going to be a double cross going on here. I think on Purge night, he's going to kill this whole squad, this whole team of people that are backing that corrupt captain that she wants in on the cut or whatever. And I mean, maybe that's his in to getting his buddy in jail. Like, okay, there's one more thing I need to pull this job off. I'm down a man. I need you to get my buddy out of jail. I need you to set up an extraction on Purge night that we can get him out. So that makes more sense, because I thought originally Esme and him would team up and somehow she would help him get his buddy out. But then someone brought something up to me in the comments that I thought was really cool, that Ryan would buy him at auction. But maybe Ryan will have somebody else buy him at auction. So that is a possibility that he buys him at auction. But I like the idea that the police captain chick here helps Ryan get him out of jail in one way or another, whether it's on Purge night or before Purge night, I don't know, or helps fix the auction so that Ryan can win it, something, you know. But so there we go with that. Now, getting back to Esme's story, I mean, her dad is abusing her sister, right? It's her sister, I think so, right? Yeah. Anyway, and he's out, and she comes up. Now, why he would be walking up literally 2 seconds before the Purge sirens go off, you'd think that's cutting it a little too close on his way over there, but, you know, he seems to be a pretty risky guy. He comes over, she locks him out. She's like, nope. She locks the door. And I definitely, you know, I don't think she meant for him to die in, like, earshot, you know? Like, I don't think that was part of her plan, where she was sitting there and she's like, really? Do they have to kill him on my property? Like, do I have to listen to him dying right now? You know, she's already feeling awful about it. Could you imagine? I mean, could you imagine having such a bad relationship with your parents that you lock them out on a night where murder is legal, and you know that over the next 12 hours, the chances of them surviving that night are very slim, and that their last minutes, hours, whatever it may be, are going to be just mentally god awful. Just pure fear the whole time until their inevitable death. Their demise is imminent, and there's like a 99% chance where she let him out. Forget it, dude. You're not making it. So, but as I said, like, that would be hard enough, and her guilt's kind of already weighing on her. But just to have to hear it, I bet she was just like, really, you know. But we don't see him die, so is it possible he's still alive? I doubt it. I don't see how. This was 10 years ago. I mean, what would he be waiting for? So I don't see that. But Esme is being bugged as well, so they seem to be on to her or something there. So we'll see what all happens with that. But her storyline wasn't exactly all that crazy or interesting to me outside of the dad thing. All right, and then finally the Marcus thing, really quick. So he makes a deal with this dude. He has to do surgery on him to, you know, it's kind of like the mob boss doctor scenario, playing God with David Duchovny. We've seen it in plenty of these mob movies. Making a long story short, he does it to get information from this guy. And when he does, as soon as he said the name aloud, as soon as he said, what was it, Sam something? I wrote it down somewhere. Sam, like, shit. It doesn't really matter. Sam Tucker. Yeah, there it is. As soon as he said Sam Tucker, I was like, oh shit, that's the dude his wife's been having an affair with. Like, I instantly knew what was happening. It was funny how quick it hit me when I was like, oh, so it's linked to his life. Do you imagine, like, finding out your wife's cheating on you, but then having to deal with the fact that she is responsible for an attempt on your life because this guy, I'm assuming, wants to be with her, and if the husband's out of the way, then he can be with her. I just imagine living in that world where, you know, there's this vendetta against you, and one night a year that person can legally come after you. So, like, what do you do during those other 364 and a half days of the year? Like, you go and confront him, and then what? Like, you can't kill him, you can't do anything, you can't have him arrested, he didn't do anything illegal, there's nothing you can really do. And then on Purge night every single year, you either got to go kill him, or you got to batten down the hatches and go, all right, like, let's see if I can survive yet another year because my wife had an affair. So there's finding out you've been cheated on, and then there's finding out you've been cheated on by a guy or with a guy that now wants you dead and can legally do it once a year. That's their marriage has been struggling. I think this is probably going to be the end of that. So, man, great stuff there. Didn't see that coming, but as soon as he said the name, I did, and man, it all hit me like, damn, that's rough, man. So now where is he going from here? I can only assume he's going to now go and confront Sam, try to talk it out with him, see where that all goes. I look forward to seeing how that all goes down, how that all transpires, and what are your guys' guesses on what's happening next? You with me on the Ryan getting his buddy out of jail? Is he going to auction him? Is he going to have the lieutenant, captain, whatever she is, help him out? Is that guy in the elevator actually dead? If so, is he going to get covered up? Will Ben's girlfriend be, is she going to assume it's him? I would assume so. Yeah, lots to talk about here. So let me know in the comments below. See you next week.